The third is the single rider line, as opposed to the standby line, which is different than the fast pass line. But I'm getting ahead of myself just a little bit. I can ride Space Mountain and then just walk across the park about 10 minutes, snag me up a fast pass for Peter Pan's Flight or The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which are cooler than they sound, and then make my way over to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and ride that. Hopefully at that time the line will be less than a half an hour long, because I don't think it's ever necessary to spend more than 30 minutes in line for an attraction at Disney World if you're using these strategies. So I said I might grab a Fast Pass on the way. Here's how a Fast Pass works. You take your park ticket, which looks something like this, and you put it into a Fast Pass machine. You want to take a look at the return time that's posted above the Fast Pass machine. It'll say something like, well, when we did this one right here, we never used it. That's why I still have it, because we ended up not going on this ride or on this attraction. It says arrive anytime between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. We probably got this about at 11 o'clock. You can't get another Fast Pass. You can only have one Fast Pass at a time, basically. You can't get another one until after that 1 o'clock time. So you want to make sure that the return time is relatively soon, like within the next few hours. If it's something super late, like 8 or 9 p.m., that's the only Fast Pass you're going to get all day, so you better really love that ride. Anyway, you take your park ticket, put it into that machine, and then this gets spit back out along with this. Now, something that's also another way to save time, of course, is to take someone you trust in your party, hand them all of your tickets, send them off to put these in, and then come back with the 3 Fast Passes for the group. That way, if somebody needs to get something to drink or use the restroom, not everybody has to wait, and you can be efficient with your time. Now, you might think, Alan, Feirer, this just sounds really time-consuming and too much mental energy to do all this planning ahead, to think about all these things. This is a vacation. This is a relaxation trip. Those two things are not necessarily the same thing when you're going to Disney World. Disney World is an awesome time, but it is not relaxing the entire time. Mickey Mouse grabs you by the shoulders and holds you up against the fun wall and won't let you down until the park closes. It's pretty intense. Now, in part 2 of the video orientation, I'll tell you how you can relax and avoid some stressed out feelings from running around the park, trying to take advantage of all the plans that you've made. But trust me, you're going to have more fun if you see all the things that you want to see. You can see everything there is to see if you allot 8 days to go there. But you're only going to be there for 4 days, really 3.5 because of the early departure, the 4th day in the parks. And it's the busiest time of year. Make no bones about it, it's going to be super crowded. But I've been there that time of year, and I've stuck to the whole, I'm not going to wait in line for longer than 30 minutes. You might have to skip 1 or 2 things you really, really want to do, or make the compromise and stand in that line for 2 hours. But boy, there's so much to do, so much to see. I wouldn't waste my time spending 2 hours in line. Test Track at Epcot is a classic example of a ride that, with the line waits, approach 2.5 hours. Now, if you got a Nintendo DS and all the people in your party doing, you got Mario Kart, you can play that in line and occupy yourself. But doggone it, you're at Disney World, you want to have a good time. So that's a little bit about Fast Passes. Always get a Fast Pass for the main attraction that you want to see, and then go to the number 2 attraction you want to see after your Fast Pass, and then that first one will probably be ready for you. At Disney Hollywood Studios, go in, take a right, get a Fast Pass for Rock and Roller Coaster, go on Tower of Terror, come back, use your Fast Pass for Rock and Roller Coaster. At the Animal Kingdom, you might apply this to Everest and Kilimanjaro Safaris, or Cali River Rapids, depending on whether you like riding down Rapid River in a raft. That doesn't appeal to me much. Kilimanjaro Safaris is much cooler, but that's your call. Dinosaur is also pretty sweet. The Magic Kingdom, it's Space Mountain and Splash Mountain. It's the mountains and the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and the Haunted Mansion. The Haunted Mansion is more cool than it is frightening. It's not a very frightening attraction, but it is amazing. And then that was the park that I left out. Oh, Epcot. Epcot, the #1 attraction you want to make sure you get in line for right away or get a fast pass for right away is Soarin'. Go in, it's to the right. In Future World, which is where you enter just past the big golf ball, Spaceship Earth, you do that. But the ride that where the fast passes run out when you're there, they're probably going to run out by like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, if not sooner, is Test Track. You want to make sure you see Test Track. It's the attention to detail more than it is the thrill. But you might want to get a fast pass for Test Track and then go over and see Soarin'. But Soarin' is the most popular attraction at Epcot, followed closely by Test Track. You might think Mission Space, because it's very, very intense, might be more popular, but it's very intense, and so it doesn't appeal to everybody. It appeals to me. I went on it 3 times in one afternoon once. I was sick, but it was cool. Anyway, so we've talked about the Fast Pass. We glossed over planning ahead, and I'll get back to that in a moment and wrap up this part of the video. The other is the single rider line. A number of attractions have what's called a single rider line. If you don't mind splitting up from the other people in your party for a short period of time, you can get into that line. Some rides seat like 4 or 5 people in a car or a compartment or whatever, and if you want everybody to be in the same car or compartment or whatever, you got to get in the standby line. But the single rider line takes the odds and ends of people. So let's say that Soarin' seats 5. I'm not sure it does. It's either 5 or 6. Let's say it seats 5, and there's 3 of you. So you 3 get seated in the thing, and then they take 2 other people from the single rider line unless they got a pair of people. So people in the single rider line kind of fill in the gaps, but your party might get split up. But that wait is usually like half of the standby line, and you lots of times end up with the people in your party anyway, and you'll exit the ride at about the same, or the attraction at about the same time. So it's no big deal. It's no big problem. It's a temporary split up to enjoy the attraction and save time for everybody there. Back to planning ahead. We got one thing to help you out. At room check the night before each park you visit, you'll be given a pocket itinerary. This is a rough draft, so don't necessarily memorize this. But this and the weather forecast is made up, but we'll fix that later. This is for Monday. It's got the important times on there when the choir reports to Italy and whatnot. And then on the back, get a brief on what the hottest attractions are, which ones take Fast Pass. That's my phone. I can get it. Hello?